You ready? Investigator Thompson, this is in fact the vehicle that was, this is in fact Jessica Chambers' vehicle that she had on December 6, 2014. Is that correct?
Yes.
And it has been sitting here in the Panola County Sheriff Department's impound lot for almost 3 years now. Is that correct?
Yes.
And obviously, we wanted to bring the jury here so they could actually see the car and see the burns. The interior of the vehicle is deteriorated immensely, has it not?
Yes, sir. Just due to the burning all the paint, insulation off the vehicle, being out in the elements for now going on 3 years, the rust factor has been sped up and it has deteriorated immensely.
And you can see the seats have actually just caved in. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, there are some photographs that have been introduced into evidence that were taken the day after, on December 7th, 2014. Is that correct?
Yes.
And would those photographs accurately depict the condition of the vehicle during the time of the crime?
Yes.
Your Honor, I tender the witness.
No question, Your Honor.
Please, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Investigator Thompson, we are actually at the area where the car was found on December 6, 2014. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And just for the jury's description, everybody standing here in a small space, would you state for the jury, would you tell the jury how the car was actually parked here?
Yes, sir. The car was parked with what I'm going to call the nose of the front of the car facing toward that fence right there.
And so with my two arms just facing directly, I believe Mr. Peterson already referred to it as parallel to this fence. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And in the photographs, I'm sorry, how close was the nose to that fence, to your knowledge?
In exact footage, I wouldn't be able to tell you. The way the car was positioned, the front door would have been opening against this sapling here.
We have photographs of the front door being very close to a small tree and that tree being burned. Is this the particular tree that is depicted in those photographs?
Yes.
And is this the condition that the vehicle was found on December 6th of 2014?
The condition of the area is, Mr. Hale, I would say is similar. It does have some growth on it because it's summertime now. It was wintertime then, but it does an accurate depiction of the geography of the land at that time. Yes.
And just so we're clear on the actual, they've seen the size of the vehicle. This is the tree that the front door was found against.
Yes.
Now, Judge, if you don't mind, the jury's fine, but these people right here, can we have them clear a path?
Yes. Y'all clear back there, please.
I'm coming on back.
Director, now you want. I don't know.
Y'all can just scoot over the other side of it. Okay. Investigator Thompson, can you move up here to where I am, please?
Yeah.
Now, for this particular vehicle to be parked in the position it was in, what route would it have taken coming in from Heron Road?
The vehicle would have taken a left off of Heron Road if it was coming from the Cortland area. However, it would have turned into this driveway. It would have came up close to the fence and made a hard left turn to be driven parallel to the fence into that fence.
And there's a pretty good incline here, would you say?
Yes, sir. But the lay of the land is less of an incline closer to the fence than it is back toward Heron Road.
And that's what I was going to ask you, so the jury can turn around. The incline on the front is much steeper than it is back by the gate.
Yes.
Based on your investigation, can you give the jury the benefit of where a telephone was found in the area?
The telephone would have been approximately where the door was open in the area near the driver's side of the vehicle.
And also, as part of this testimony, some firefighters described Jessica coming out of the woods approximately 30 or 40 feet from their location. Can you tell the jury approximately where that location is when she came out?
From my review of the firefighter statements, she would have been coming from that way back.
When you say that way, please point a direction.
Back toward the van.
From the west.
Right.
Your Honor, I tender the witness here.
Mr. Peterson? Yes, Your Honor. Officer, has anything been removed from the scene that you're aware of?
Mr. Peterson, please describe what you're talking about.
I understand that there
The
may have been
vehicle
some.
was
The
removed.
vehicle was removed.
Yes.
Was there any trees cut down that you were aware of?
No.
Okay, so that tree here would have been the tree that was depicted in the photo that we showed the jury on yesterday,
To my
correct?
knowledge, yes, sir.
And the tree directly behind your honor, can we agree that that's burning to that as well?
Absolutely, sir. And some of the other trees had some burning on them, but because of the time frame, some of it has healed up.
Certainly. Are you aware of any fire on the other side of this fence?
I'm not aware of any fire that was on the other side of the fence. I know there might have been some smoke damage and just overflow fire damage, but I'm not aware of any fire on the other side.
And you hadn't reviewed any reports where the firefighters attended to another fire on that evening?
Not here.
Not here.
Yes.
At this particular okay. Now finally, officer, you reviewed the testimony from some of the firefighters. I believe it would have been the first brush truck on scene.
Yes.
And he indicated that when he pulled up, he saw what he described as this zombie-like figure. And at that point, he backed the brush truck up about 200 feet or about 20 feet.
I'm not sure exactly the footage, and I'm not sure if it was the first brush truck. I know from Cole Haley's statement that he attended to her when he saw her, but I'm not sure about the first truck, what they did. I'm not sure about that, sir.
That's the question, Douglas.
Yes, sir.
Officer Jody Morris, have you had a chance to review his testimony? He was on, I believe he described himself to be on scene command on that night.
Possibly, sir.
And he indicated that when he pulled into the driveway, they were observing the fire. Would that have been the driveway that they pulled into?
Yes.
Okay, there's not another driveway around here.
Not to this area. No.
So if he testified that when he pulled into the driveway and then he noticed a figure coming from that direction, that would have been on the other side of that driveway.
Yes,
correct.
West.
And the woods from the other side of that driveway.
Yes.
Okay. That direction is away from Cortland.
Yes.
And this is the direction that we were taking going back to Cortland. That we came
Yes.
in. That
We came through the town of Cortland. Yes.
Officer, did your investigation include any areas other than this area here?
We did send a team of investigators down here, being comprised of federal, state, local officers that actually did a foot search of the area.
I think Cole Haley referred to it as a search and rescue team.
Partially compromised of a search and rescue team. All of them would have been accompanied by some type of criminal investigator.
And is this one of the areas that
They did comb this area as well as both sides of the road, both directions.
Okay. Did they actually go over behind this fence?
I'm sure they did, sir. I was not physically here. I cannot truthfully speak intelligently to whether they went inside there or not.
Sure.
I'm sure they probably did, but I was not here.
So, but you're not aware of any as we stand here?
No, sir, I'm not.
I turn it over to you.
Mr. Hale, redirect. Your Honor, I would ask Kathy and the jury can move the machine right down here to the road. I would like to ask a couple of questions based on what Mr. Peterson had asked him.
All right.
Just point out right down to the beginning of the drive.
Let's move on down there. Oh, I'm sorry.
Investigator Thompson, Mr. Peterson asked you about the brush truck that was fighting the fire being pulled in the driveway. Is this the drive that you would be referring to?
Yes.
And Cole Haley, you mentioned the engine. He had actually talked about them being parked at an angle. You understand that?
You said an angle to the back of the brush truck?
The brush truck being on Heron Road to the back of the brush truck. I'm sorry, the engine being on Heron Road to the back of the brush truck.
Yes, sir, that would be correct.
And you are aware that he was treating Jessica right outside the engine.
Yes.
So that would put him treating Jessica in this particular area. Is that correct?
Approximately, I would say, because if the brush truck was pulled in, they would have pulled the engine here to supply additional water to the brush truck, so it would be in this general area.
Just so the jury understands the distance from where they were treating Jessica to the actual fire.
Yes, about approximately 50 feet, 40 feet.
Your Honor, that's all the questions I have. I would ask that we allow the jury to stay for a little bit and look the area over as much as they please. And then we're ready to go.
Any objection, counsel? None, Your Honor. All right. Members of the jury would like to, please stay together. All right. If you want to walk up there and look around or anything right around here you want to look at, it'll take a few minutes and look at it.
Investigator Thompson, we are at the residence of Daniel Cole, who's already testified in this case. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the jury actually came across a bridge because there's a big creek running this area. Is that correct?
Yes.
And there's a couple other houses that have a bridge that come across down through this area. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, he mentioned an access road that he had seen people walking from Otto Sanford subdivision through his yard in the past. Are you aware of that access road?
Yes.
And would you turn around and we see an entrance to a road right here at Daniel's house? What is directly at the top of this hill?
The back of Otto Sanford, the mouth of this road dumps into Otto Sanford subdivision.
No, that's all the questions I have here.
Mr. Fisher? Officer.
Yes.
Have you taken an opportunity to measure the distance from where we are now to the actual crime scene?
No.
Okay. This road dumps into Otto.
Otto Sanford subdivision is just a small subdivision. It has a dead end road where you have to turn around and come back out. And it comes out actually in the backyard of a trailer house. And then from that, you're right in Otto Sanford subdivision.
You can actually drive this road. Right?
Yes. Like your vehicle scratch.
But I mean, you can drive it around through it.
Yes.
But I've driven it.
Yes.
And it comes out around by the trailer house where Mr. Tellis' sister was living at the time.
I believe she lives in a wood frame house.
At the time.
At the time, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have any testimony that would have placed Mr. Tellis coming through this access road on December 6th, 2014?
No.
You don't have any testimony or witness reports that would ever place Mr. Tellis coming through this area where we're standing now?
No.
But that's just a direct area from the scene of the crime.
Yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Redirect.
Again, Mr. Peterson asked you, right up this hill, whose house sits right in Otto Sanford subdivision?
It would be Mr. Tellis' sister. I refer to her as Ray Gang.
And are you aware of whose car that Quentin Tellis borrowed on the night of December 6, 2014?
Through other officers stated it would have been Ray Gann's vehicle. I believe Ray Gann.
That's all I have, Your Honor. I proceed, Your Honor.
You may.
Investigator Thompson, we were just at Daniel Cole's house at the bottom of the hill. Is that correct?
Yes.
And we pointed out an access road that leads into Otto Sanford subdivision.
Yes.
Are we currently in Otto Sanford subdivision?
We are at the rear of Otto Sanford subdivision.
That access road the jury has already seen at the bottom of the hill. I asked you what was at the top of the hill, and you told them Otto Sanford subdivision. Where does that access road exit into Otto Sanford subdivision?
Right there.
We can see the low-hanging limbs. I believe you just drove up it. Is that correct?
I did.
But the vans we didn't bring up.
That's correct.
And who actually lived in Otto Sanford subdivision of significance on December 6, 2014?
Ray Gann would be Quentin Tellis' sister.
And where did she live?
In this wood frame house to my right.
And whose vehicle did he borrow on that particular night?
Ray Gann.
Your Honor, I tender the witness.
Mr. Peterson? Thank you, Mr. Thompson. That's the road right there that comes around behind that trailer there?
Yes, on the other side, it was somewhat gravel and a little open. When it comes through a fence line, it's unkept and it's hanging over, but that is the
Right.
mouth of the road.
So when we were standing on the other side, just for the jury's perspective, that dirt road going up the hill beyond where we were,
Yeah.
that's where it comes out,
Right
right?
there, sir, by the light bulb.
And that is Reagan's old house. She was living there at the time, December of 2014.
To the best of my knowledge, yes,
And
sir.
now you also, as we have just done, you have access to that road coming. You have access to the house if you come off 51 as well.
That would be the primary entrance to this residence.
Okay. And just final question: do you have any evidence that Mr. Tellis actually has been on this access road at any time?
No.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Mr. Taylor, redirect. That's all I have here.
All right. Investigator Thompson, we are standing at, where are we standing?
We're standing at the old Gurnley's, what is now referred to as the M&M store in Cortland, Mississippi.
We're going to hear it as M&M's and also Gurley's, is that correct?
Yeah,
On December 6, 2014, ma'ams, where was Quentin Tellis living?
if you look over the top of that red Ford car there, it'll be the next driveway on your left behind those pine trees.
And you see the driveway where the mailbox is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And we're going to walk down there in a minute. But was there a camera at M&M store on December 6, 2014 that actually pointed toward Quentin Tellis' residence?
Yes.
Will you point out that camera for the jury?
The camera on the corner of the building right here.
And that is a camera angle that will become significant later in this trial, is that correct?
Yes.
Now the jury is going to see other camera angles during the course of this trial. Is that also, are you aware of that?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have no further questions at this location.
Mr. Pearson, you have any cross? Certainly, Your Honor. Major Thompson. That camera points down toward the driveway of Quentin Tellis' mother. Is that correct?
In that general area, yes, sir.
There's a second camera on the opposite end of this building. Do you see that?
Yes.
Are there any other cameras on this building?
I don't believe there are any more on the outside, Mr. Peterson. I know there's some on the inside, but I'm not aware of any more unless they've been added since or moved since. I'm not aware of any. Mr. Peterson.
Let me ask you this. On December the 6th, 2014, the date of this Chambers' death, were there any additional cameras that you're aware of?
To my knowledge, no.
No. Would there be cameras that would point around to that area behind the store where you see those black tanks sitting?
To my knowledge, I don't believe there were. I believe that was a dead area in the video. At that time, I believe. This is to my knowledge.
And to your knowledge, you have not reviewed any camera footage that would have depicted that area directly behind the corner of that store.
Personally, no.
Now, there's a road that runs directly behind the store, correct?
Yes.
And that road, I believe, is where members of Jessica Chambers' family live.
As well as her, yes, sir.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
That's Carlisle Road. If the jury hears any reference to Carlisle Road.
That is Carlisle Road. It runs at a parallel angle somewhat to Highway 51 to Shallow.
Which we're going to pass Shallow headed back.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Peterson asked you about this driveway of Tellis' home. There's a second driveway that will be of significance also. Is that correct? You can't see it behind the cars, but we're about to walk down there.
Yes.
Now, that's all the questions I have here. I would ask, since there are camera angles they're going to see from inside the store, that we're not going to follow them or ask questions. They'd be allowed to walk through the store and come back out.
We secure in there?
Yes.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Investigator Thompson, we are now in front of the residence. You've already classified as what Tellis' residence. Is that correct?
Yes.
And there are two. How many structures are going to become significant as part of this investigation that we're going to hear about?
2 at this location.
And the primary structure is going to be the house. Point out the house for the jury.
So, yes, green, white, single wide mobile home that's parallel to the road.
And there's a second structure that's going to become significant in future testimony. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what structure is that?
It's a small white shed in front of the mobile home.
And other investigators will testify as to the significance of that shed. Is that correct?
Yes.
And this particular driveway that we're looking at on December 6, 2014, are you aware of whether the M&M's camera captured the footage around this driveway?
It did.
Your Honor, attend to the witness.
Cross-examination. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Thompson, you indicated in the last question that the camera from the M&M store up there captured this driveway.
Yes.
Have you made any determinations as to how far into this particular driveway that camera can see?
I couldn't speak intelligently to that, Mr. Peter. I didn't actually do the total review of the video. I am aware that it captures part of this driveway. I'm not aware of how much.
Certainly.
That'll be later testimony.
You talked earlier about a blind spot up here at the M&M store.
Yes.
And from the location where we're standing, that would encompass the end of that store where we're looking at with the orange coloring. And there's an orange line there, and then there's a burgundy line, and you can see the triangular steeple of the store.
Yes.
Would that be the area of that blind spot?
I would say yes, sir. To my knowledge, from what little video I did review, if you walk past, I believe, an ice machine, there's something right there at the corner of the store. When you step out of that, you would go out of camera view.
Okay. Would you also agree with me, Major Thompson, that at some point, as you go into this driveway, you're actually going to go off that camera?
I would say so, yes.
Certainly. And have you reviewed any footage where you could actually see any of those structures in reviewing that camera footage?
Personally, no.
Okay. Have you reviewed footage where you can see the driveway?
I have seen some video footage that has been analyzed by other investigators. Yes.
The only footage that we're talking about would have been footage that depicts the entrance to this driveway.
To my knowledge, yes, sir.
Not the structures themselves, or at least not to your knowledge.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Finally, Major Thompson, just for clarity, we're standing here on the same 51 that would have gone down to Ray Gann's house.
Yes, sir.
This is the same 51.
This is US Highway 51. Yes.
Turn the witness, sir.
Redirect. We have another witness who's going to give measurements, but Auto Sanford subdivision, where we just came from, what is it?
It's straight down Highway 51. I would say approximately 150 yards, maybe. That'd be a rough guess.
You see it.
Yeah, that's the end of it right there.
And I'm not going to ask you about the camera footage because it's going to speak for itself. Okay. Now, in December, do you have less foliage or leaves out than you do in October normally?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, after the frost, you will have leaves falling and such as that. Yeah.
Investigator Thompson, this is the last location that we're actually going to bring the jury to. Where we're standing, where is its proximity to Quintel's actual residence?
It's adjacent to and behind it. It's to the south and a little bit to the east of that residence.
Now, in Quintel's interviews that will come out for the jury later, he mentioned a grassy area that he actually, in a taped interview, but he actually told FBI agent Dustin Blunt where he and Jessica had parked and hung out.
Yeah.
Is this the area that we're referring to?
According to Agent Blunt's report, yes, this would be the area that he pointed out to my knowledge. Yeah.
And Agent Blunt, to your knowledge, interviewed him here.
Yeah.
Now, there's also, and I'm sorry, Quintel has also admitted that it's already come out that he claimed they had sex one time, and this is the area.
Yes.
Now, there's another residence that you can see at the top of the hill.
Yes.
Is that the only residence on this particular road that you're aware of, or do you know?
I'm not sure whether the other double wide faces this way or not.
We have the aerial maps already.
Yes.
Are you aware who lived in that residence on December 6, 2014?
To my knowledge, Yolanda Sanford.
And there was another individual that stayed with her on occasion. Is that correct?
To my knowledge, on occasion, Poo Poo, who I know is Poo Poo to be Celis's sister, stayed with her on occasion.
Your Honor, all that.
Cross.